Well, another lackluster fight night. This time it was in Mexico City, but a great performance by Brandon Moreno nonetheless. And now we got Andrew Tate with new possible charges and a lawsuit from his ex. We're going to talk about it right now. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about Andrew Tate's recent accusations, right, which involves him beating and choking a former girlfriend of his. By the way, Los Angeles based, right? So somebody from the United States now, it's within the jurisdiction of the United States. So what is significant about this is usually we think that Andrew Tate is innocent because the Romanian government is corrupt and things of that nature. And look, I'm not here to say whether he is or he isn't. I still don't know, but I think there's a lot of people that defend Andrew Tate vehemently in a way where I think it is just blind following. You know what I mean? And I kind of understand. You see, what he symbolizes to a lot of dudes who are, let's be honest, deprived, okay, is some sort of hope, a hope of possibilities. Maybe if I follow his advice, if I change this about myself, or if I do this. And you know what? A lot of it are things that I agree with. There's a lot of things that he does that's right in terms of what he teaches the youth and things of that nature. But it doesn't mean that he is exempt from the reality of some of these accusations. You see, some of the accusations that comes towards the way of Andrew Tate have to be warranted. Now, look, is Andrew Tate capable of committing violence against women? Of course. You want to know the crazy part about it? We all are, depending on what situation you're in, depending on who you are with, and depending on the circumstances that are involved. We're all capable of violence. So that is why I'm not here to throw any shade at anybody or to make extreme accusations, but rather give an objective take on this particular matter at hand, right? By the way, we're also reacting to UFC Mexico right now, so I'm going to be throwing in a portion of covering this particular fight. Right now, we are in the third round between Moreno and Steve Erceg, and so far, Brendan Moreno is doing a very good job of his boxing, really just jabbing Steve Erceg, backing him up, and doing a very good job of just controlling the fight overall. So, speaking of control, one of the things that Andrew Tate likes to emphasize with women is control. Now, is it really the worst thing in the world to teach these things? Not really, if the overall goal is to create peace amongst two parties, amongst two people that are in a relationship, okay? That's perfectly fine. Again, there's not a lot of things that I really disagree with the guy on, but I'm not going to sit here and act like this guy is not capable of some of the worst and heinous things. Because you got to understand, we're all capable of the worst and heinous things there is, right? Now, let's go back to the UFC side. Moreno's doing a very good job of controlling and jabbing, and then just doing his little shoulder roll bid that he's doing right now. And Steve Erceg is not really, doing much to damage Brendan Moreno in any kind of way. So, here's something you got to understand about Andrew Tate, right? I don't know if I believe this guy to be a full-fledged Muslim, because I'm going to be honest with you. I know that he converted to Islam. I know that he is a person that has a lot of Muslim friends. Well, at this point, I don't even know if they hang out with him or not, or if they have any influence on him at all. But one thing I can say about Andrew Tate is, well, he doesn't seem any different than the Andrew Tate before he converted to Islam. Now, why is that significant to bring up? You see, a lot of the Muslim converts that I know that have become Muslim have really gotten into this trajectory where they've abandoned a lot of their family members, and with good reason, because there's a lot of opposition towards their uh, religious conversion. There's a lot of pushbacks in the new cultural changes that they are making. And speaking of changes, yeah, Steve Urseg definitely needs to make some new changes right now as we are heading into the fourth and in the fifth round. So, guys, remember, this video is a two-part series or a two-part uh, topic: UFC Mexico and Andrew Tate. So, just before, hold on, just make sure I this right here. So before I talk more about Andrew Tate, I want to go over. I want to go over some of the entire card first. Okay, so Drew Dober gets knocked out in the first round by Manuel Torres. He punches him, straight shots. Drew Dober doesn't know where he's at. He's thinking, what is going on here? He thought that the fight was still going on, and that was all she wrote. Edgar Sheraz gets a submission over CJ Baraga. Rahul Rojas gets a third round, well, not a third round, but a decision over Vince Morales. Vince Morales catches him with a Darce choke by the end, survives, and ends up winning by unanimous decision. David Martinez gets a TKO knockout against Simon Oliveira. Kevin Borjas gets a decision over Ronaldo Rodriguez. Obviously, the Joe Pfeiffer fight was canceled, but I still made a pretty good video on that particular topic. Jose Medina gets knocked out by Atiba Gutierrez, which was his UFC debut. The dude looks scary, right? Looks like a 185 version of Francis Ngannou. Costa gets a decision win over Christian Rodriguez, which was insane. I thought Christian Rodriguez had won that fight, right? You're talking about Christian Rodriguez, 6 out of 15 takedowns. I don't know what they saw in the Costa fight or what they saw in Costa to win that fight, but I mean, you know, hey, judges are judges' subjective opinion. So Lupi Godinez gets a decision over Julia Pilastri, sorry. Rafa Garcia gets a decision over Vince Pichel. I thought Vince Pichel would have gotten finished in this fight, but he actually made a good account of himself. Jamal Emmers gets a serious knockout over Gabriel Miranda. And first fight of the night, Austin Hubbard loses to a decision against Markel Almaderos. That's another controversial fight. Obviously, 2 takedowns on the part of Austin Hubbard. That wasn't enough, but the striking was on the side of Markel. Ultimately, I think that's what won him the fight. But Markel did stuff 7 out of those 9 takedown attempts, so that must mean something. But yeah, now on to the main event, where right around in the 4th round right now, as we're watching this fight with Moreno and Urseg. Now, going back to Andrew Tate, okay? This is a guy who had a webcam business. Now, look, I'm not judging anybody, because here's something you got to understand about the Islamic way of thinking, or the Islamic ideology, is that once you convert to Islam, all of your sins previously are washed away, right? So it wouldn't matter if he did any of those things or not. But I'm not here to put a jacket on anyone. All I'm saying is keep an open mind, because I feel that a lot of people don't really give Andrew Tate the benefit of the doubt. On the other side, they give him the benefit of the doubt, saying, well, a lot of these cases are fake, this and that. There's a lot of nefarious actions, or a lot of nefarious intentions behind why they're trying to make these cases. But at the same time, what if he actually is guilty of these things, right? And then some people will say, well, you know what? Why do you even want to speak on that? What are you, a snitch or this and that? I don't know, man. But this particular case where they talk about his girlfriend, I believe her last name is Stern or whatever, talks about how she was.
They talk about how she was being choked, how she was brutalized. Not only that, also take into consideration the lawyer behind her is Tony Busby. By the way, the person that is notorious for the Jay-Z scandal that is going on, right? All these made up accusations that he had made about Jay-Z and whatnot. So, once again, there's a lot of nefarious actors involved. All that I ask is that you people keep an open mind. And speaking of open mind, it's an open division in the 125 division at the UFC, and they got UFC's Noche in December. I'm sorry, in September coming up. Their third edition of that. Will Brendan Moreno perhaps maybe take on Pantoja? We will find out. But until now, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one, inshallah.